Trevor Bauer, one of professional baseball's most interesting cases at the moment. A former MLB Cy Young Award winner and promising legend of the game, hasn't pitched in Major League Baseball since 2021 after sexual assault allegations came up against him, basically putting him on MLB's blacklist. However, those have since come out to be false. And I want to say one thing before we continue with this video. It is both important to remember that innocent until proven guilty is a thing, but yet at the same time hearing out the plaintiff's case without immediately disregarding or invalidating their feelings. It is important to remember both of those things when approaching situations such as this one. Just wanted to put that out there. And in the meantime, since he has been away from Major League Baseball, he has found success in the International Baseball League. He found success in Japan with the Yokohama Bay Stars and has come to even more dominance with the Diablos Rojos del Mexico. In fact, while he was in Mexico, he set a single game strikeout record in the Mexican League with 19 strikeouts and had quite the dominant playoff performance with that team. And since that season has been done, many people have been calling for Major League Baseball to remove him from the blacklist and reinstate him in Major League Baseball. He has even come out and said at times that he would play for league minimum if it meant a team would sign him. He doesn't care about making big money. He's done that already. With his major YouTube success and partnerships across other YouTube platforms, he certainly isn't hurting for brand deals. Or not really brand deals, but rather brand collaborations when it comes to YouTube. You guys know what I'm saying. And so with the question being, will Trevor Bauer ever play in Major League Baseball again? We are going to approach that today in MLB The Show 24. Now, when deciding how to do this, I immediately thought, okay, coming into the 2025 season, what team is really going to need pitching? And there was one team I thought of that I was like, okay, if certain moves aren't made, they are definitely going to be in need of some pitching. And a couple weeks ago, those were kind of answered when Corbin Burnes signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks, meaning the Baltimore Orioles don't have their bona fide ace from last year. So I thought the best team to get Trevor Bauer back in the league and see how he would do in today's climate would be the Baltimore Orioles. Now, as we transition to the screen here, we're gonna go into this and look. I tried to keep him in AAA for a season because I wanted to simulate to the 2025 season, but they called him up even though I sent him down multiple times, and he actually had a decent year, but we're gonna pretend like this didn't happen. It's also important to point out that the Orioles actually made it to the World Series and lost in 7 games. And just to kind of get some security in the fact that Trevor Bauer will most likely stay with the Orioles, we have signed him to a 14-year deal, meaning he will be pitching for the Orioles until he is 47. Now, that's not really reflective of real life, but I thought it would be curious to see how that goes. So we are actually going to simulate to the next season. I'm not taking control of anything. I am simply a bystander of the Orioles organization, and we are going to see how Trevor Bauer pitches if he comes back to MLB. Just gonna get a look at these stats before we continue. So he is a 90 overall with 85 stamina, 77 hits per 9, 91 K per 9, down from 92, 58 walks per 9, 67 home runs per 9, 79 pitching clutch, 73 control with 99 velocity and 94 break. If you guys want to see other content like this, or guys want to just check out more content on the channel without missing some of the new stuff we upload, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. 92% of you guys are not subscribed who watch these videos, so if you guys could do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button, it would really be appreciated by me. Also, make sure to like the video to help support the channel in the best way possible. One thing to kind of note, if you guys want to take a look here before we get into the rest of the video, Corbin Burnes signed in the offseason with the Los Angeles Dodgers, so that Godzilla of a team is just getting even better. They didn't really make too many big moves from what I can tell, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but like, I don't think they necessarily got better, but they didn't get worse. We're now going to simulate to the All-Star break in his first official season back in Major League Baseball, and let's see how that goes for Trevor Bauer. Ooh, so this is actually a big one to report back on. The Diamondbacks traded for Kyle Bradish, and in turn, we got Jorge Barosa, Jack Hurley, and Mariano Bourbon. So I don't know what that all means for the team, but Kyle Bradish was a huge part of this bullpen. So that's a huge thing right there. Let's look at Trevor Bauer, still playing to a 90 overall, but kind of struggling with giving up runs. He has a 5.13 ERA. He's got 10.6 K per 9, but he's struggling to walk people right now, giving up a little bit too many home runs and walking a lot of people. He's striking out a lot of guys. Actually, let's check his strikeout. He has 133, which is insane. So he's a big strikeout guy, but he's gonna give up a lot of runs too, and it's reflecting in the Orioles record. They are 8 games below 500 at the All-Star break. We are at the beginning of September. We are 5 games below 500. The Orioles are 8.5 games out of the wild card, so they're gonna need to have a stellar September to kind of make a comeback for the playoffs. But it's also important to note that Colton Cowser was traded to a rival in the Boston Red Sox. That happened right at the trade deadline. I'm gonna actually go ahead and check who we got in that because I don't remember, to be honest. We got Braden Montgomery and Quinn Priester, so a couple of big prospects for Colton Cowser, and that seems to have helped the team a little bit, but can it be enough to help them make the playoffs? So let's simulate, see if they can go on a bit of a winning streak. They got really hot in the month of August, or at least the second half of August, so maybe they can try and carry that momentum into a winning streak, but it doesn't look like it. They're going to be really struggling to make 500. They're going to finish below 500, most likely missing out on the playoffs. Yeah, little late cold streak is not going to be enough. They finished 14 games, math is hard, under 500 and are going to miss out on the playoffs. Let's check on Trevor Bauer to see how he did. Playing down to an 89 overall, so he definitely struggled a little bit. 4.84 ERA, 211 strikeouts though, which is actually a career high since his second year with Cleveland, according to this. I don't know if these are accurate stats. I'm assuming they're going to be, but we'll see. Still with the high strikeout numbers, but the walks and home runs per 9 got worse as the season went on. So that is something he's probably going to look to fix heading into his age 35 season. Yankees defeated the Dodgers in the World Series, so for back-to-back years, Corbin Burns loses in the World Series. That is tough. Adrian Hauser retires an Oriole. Clayton Kershaw retires as a Red Sox. What the fuck? Justin Verlander retires as an Astro. That's not reflective of real life. Yan Gomes finally gets out of the league, and Max Scherzer retired, so he went back to the Nationals. I didn't even notice that. But Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer getting into the Hall of Fame this same year. And another trade has happened. Dylan Beavers and Enrique Bradfield Jr. for Dominic Canzone. So we are now in the regular season of 2026. Let's look at what this lineup looks like. So against righties, we have Heston Kjerstad, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westberg, Adley Rutschman, Ryan O'Hearn, Dominic Canzone, Eloy Jimenez in center. That's a choice. And Ramon Urias. And then against lefties, Heston Kjerstad, Ryan Mountcastle, Gunnar Henderson, Jordan Westberg, Adley Rutschman, Ramon Urias, Eloy Jimenez, Braden Montgomery coming off the bench against lefties, and Vance Honeycutt as well. Trevor Bauer is sharing the front of the rotation with Grayson Rodriguez, who actually came off a 3.5 ERA season, so he did better than Trevor Bauer, so not necessarily unexpected. So Trevor Bauer is the number 2 guy in that rotation. Let's see if we can simulate to the All-Star game and see how Trevor Bauer does in his second full season back in the major leagues. Ooh, this one scared me. I saw Trevor in the trade, and I thought the Brewers just got Trevor Bauer, but Trevor Rogers is getting traded to the Brewers for Blake Perkins. Coming from a Brewers fan, I feel like the Brewers win this trade. Blake Perkins, he's a very good defender, but the bat, at least in this moment in time, is just not there, so this feels like more of a win for the Orioles, or sorry, for the Brewers, forgive me. Holy hell, the Brewers are making moves this year. If they're not in the World Series, it's not gonna be that shocking because they're the fucking Brewers, but like getting Pete Alonso, that one's that's certainly a choice. So right now at the All-Star break, the Orioles are actually in first place. They are 20 games above 500, 6 games ahead in the division. How is Trevor Bauer doing? He is struggling. Whoa. 19 games, he's pitched 119 strikeouts, but a 5.58 ERA and a 1.38 whip. He's still just really struggling to keep the home run and walks numbers down. He's fine with the strikeouts, but he's not really doing anything to fix the walks and the home runs, specifically the home runs, because those are at an all-time high right now. He's starting to regress a little bit heading into his age 35 season. So we'll see. Maybe the Orioles might try and move him at a deadline considering the long-term contract he's part of. Maybe not this season necessarily, but like sometime soon. Because honestly, he is probably the worst rotation pitcher right now as far as ERA and whip. Cade Povich is a close second, but the ERA isn't even close. Ooh, they're going on a losing streak. Not something you want to see in the second half of the season. So heading into September, they are still 14 games above 500. But that August was not a very good one. I know you guys can't see it. Hold on. But looking at it now, there was a lot of L's that took place there, not a lot of wins. So this upcoming September really needs to be a grind in order for them to make the playoffs. They are now 2.5 games behind the Red Sox in the division lead. Trevor Bauer continues to regress. He's down to an 86 overall. He has a 5.47 ERA, 7-14 record on the year. This is not looking good for the Orioles, but let's see how they end out the season. And although they didn't have a great end to the season, they finished well enough to get that last wild card spot in the AL part of the bracket. They're going to be facing the Texas Rangers in the postseason. with Grayson Rodriguez taking the mound in the first game, and they lose game 1 4-5. Grayson Rodriguez had 8 strikeouts, gave up 2 earned runs. Felix Bautista blew the save for them, so now they're going to be playing from behind the entire time. Trevor Bauer has to clutch up here. So we're actually going to quick manage this just to kind of see what he does in this game. So his first inning of playoff baseball, technically, since coming back to the major leagues, and he's got a 1-2-3 inning in his first one. Ooh, look at that. Ramon Urias hitting a solo home run to give them the lead early. Let's see if Trevor Bauer can do anything with that. He has 3 consecutive not back-to-back, but 3 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. English is hard sometimes. He gives up his first hit, but he gets him caught stealing, strikes him out, and then gets a ground out. So still a clean game, relatively speaking, for Trevor Bauer. The offense is starting to pick up a little bit, but still only a 1-run game. He walks the first leadoff guy. Another one reaches on an error. He strikes out the next one, gives up a double, and 2 runs are going to come across the score. That one, those aren't earned runs, I don't think. But that one is an earned run. He gives up another double, and they are now down 3-1. The offense needs to come alive here. Blake Perkins gets on base, but doesn't do anything with it. Wow. If it wasn't for that error, they literally wouldn't have had any of those runs score, which is crazy to think about. They bring in a new pitcher, Josh Sibors. 2 runners on, 1 out. Gives up a single. It is now a 1-run game. Braden Montgomery pops out. Dominic Canzone, a big trade piece this season. Doesn't even get to hit because the runner steals and is thrown out. Cool. This might be Trevor Bauer's last inning. He's heading into the 7th inning. Getting a little low on energy. Yandy Diaz steals a base. How? And he gives up a double. We are probably going to end up taking out Trevor Bauer. He gives up technically 4 runs, but I don't think half of those were earned. They need a pitcher with some clutch, which has to be Adrian Morjan. Gets a ground out, walks the guy, and gets a fly out. So now the offense, again, needs to clutch up here. They bring in Tanner Scott, who walks Jackson Holliday, gives up a single to Blake Perkins. Gunnar Henderson with a lefty-lefty 3-run home run to give the Orioles the lead in the playoffs. So let's see how the bullpen continues to try and back up Trevor Bauer. Bottom of the 9th, Adrian Morjan is still in. Probably going to try and bring in the closing pitcher here, Felix Bautista. Can he redeem himself from the blown save in game 1? Gives up a single, gets a double play, and gets a pop-up. Trevor Bauer gets the victory, technically, although not really, in his first playoff game. Let's see, he only gave up 2 earned runs. He only walked 1 guy, struck out 6. So honestly, a pretty good playoff performance for Trevor Bauer. Can his team back him up and get him to the next round? They do. They win against the Rangers, pulling off the upset. They're going to be facing the division rival Boston Red Sox. They are 1-1 in this game. I'm not going to quick manage this one. Can Trevor Bauer pitch a gem yet again? They do. He only gives up 1 run. Holy shit. A 6-1 victory. Trevor Bauer gave up 1 run off of 10 hits. Holy shit. Giving up a lot of hits, but not giving up a lot of runs. Striking out 7. A lot of hits to give up, but still a pretty good performance. It's a 2-2 series heading into the last one against the division rival, and they pull off the victory. The Orioles are heading to the championship series against the Twins. A 1-0 lead heading into the next game. Trevor Bauer gets the victory. Holy shit. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, again 1 walk, only striking out 3 though. He went 6 innings and has a 2.45 ERA in the playoffs right now. What is going on with Trevor Bauer? They are up 3-1 against the Twins, and they make it to the World Series against the Dodgers. So we will be seeing a Corbin Burns revenge game possibly. Oh, that would have been fantastic if it was against Trevor. Oh, that would have been perfect. So they lose game 1, lose game 2. Wait, what? Oh, I misinterpreted it. I thought these games right here were part of the... Oh, shit. Well, Trevor Bauer only went 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 2 hits, no earned runs, and 2 strikeouts. And they took him out? Granted, the Dodgers had 109 wins. So it was going to be really hard to beat them. But the Dodgers just swept the Orioles in the fucking World Series. That is incredible. So in the last 3 years, correct me, 2 World Series appearances and 0 wins. The Dodgers just eviscerated them. So after having a not so stellar, oh, wait a minute. Did he get injured? Is that why they took him out? Trevor Bauer had a shoulder strain. He might have gotten taken out for that reason. Oh my God. So after having a not so stellar ERA throughout the regular season, Trevor Bauer showed up in the postseason and the team just couldn't get it done. Damn, so we're gonna have to head to another season yet again. Let's see how the offseason goes. Ooh, looks like the Orioles signed Robbie Ray over the offseason. A lefty thrower, $6 million contract coming up at 3.5 ERA a year, so not terrible. Looking to get at southpaw action in the bullpen, not in the bullpen, in the rotation, correct me. Willie Adames getting traded back to the Rays from the Brewers for Theo Gillen and Mason Montgomery. Holy shit. And Heston Kjerstad is traded to the Mets for Nolan McLean, a pitcher, and first baseman Nico Cavadas. Trevor Bauer in his age 36 season, looking to be the number 2 in the rotation yet again, trying to have a bounce back year late in his MLB career, coming off of a World Series loss. This is going to be interesting, folks. They're ranked 18th right now. Look at that. 18th in the league? After making a World Series appearance is crazy. Ramon Laureano is now a Oriole after we trade them Dominic Pulls. So the Orioles are 10 games below 500 at the All-Star break. Let's see. Michael King is leading the starting pitching All-Star voting. Ooh, Trevor Bauer not anywhere near the top. Trevor Bauer down to an 83. Just struggling to keep the earned runs down. Again, still a big strikeout guy, but a lot of hits are being given up, a lot of homers. He is starting to regress a lot. It's going to be really tough for the Orioles to come back. They are only 5 games out of the wild card, but right now their trend is going down. So heading into September, they are already at 81 losses unless they win out the rest of their games, which is not likely to happen. And even then, it wouldn't be a guarantee that they could make the playoffs. Trevor Bauer, 5.15 ERA. I think that's the best it's been over the last couple years. It has. He had a 4.8 ERA since coming back, but since then has just continued to regress. And it's pretty much a guarantee that the Orioles are going to be missing the playoffs. Finishing with a 71-91 record. The regular season has come to an end. The Orioles have missed the playoffs. And Trevor Bauer is down to an 82 with a 5.47 ERA. He continues to give up a ton of runs. High strikeout numbers for that, but 40 home runs? Brother, maybe don't pitch it down the middle. In the last 3 seasons, he has given up 303 runs. That is 101 runs on average. That is wild. His WAR continues to go down. The home run numbers continue to spike. It is not looking good for Trevor Bauer right now when he's come back to the major league. And the Rangers defeat the Dodgers in the World Series, so the Dodgers can't do the repeat in this postseason. Jacob deGrom retires a Met, but deGrom doesn't make it into the Hall of Fame. That is wild to me. Trevor Bauer has 2,000 career strikeouts. I just noticed that. So if these are accurate stats according to his Baseball Reference, and then since he's come back, Trevor Bauer, if he can maybe have a good last couple years, which doesn't look like he will, but he could maybe make a Hall of Fame case. It might help if they could win a World Series, though. I am curious to see if maybe the Orioles try and trade him to kind of get rid of that contract. Granted, it is a de-escalating contract. It's a front-loaded contract, I should say. So right now, they're not having to pay a lot for old man Bauer, but still, a lot could happen. Alrighty, Trevor Bauer heading into his 37-year-old season in the major leagues, making $7.2 million to pitch to probably a 5 ERA. But maybe, just maybe, he can try and progress a little bit as the season goes on. We're trading away some bullpen help right now. Eddie Garcia is coming to the Orioles for Gregory Soto. So a big lefty is now gone from the bullpen. And we trade away Felix Bautista. Holy shit, dude. We are okay, so we are in rebuild mode by the sound of it. Yet again below 500 at the All-Star break. Trevor Bauer. Holy shit, he's down to a 79 overall, but he only has a 4.39 ERA. With 122 strikeouts. So he's actually having the best season he's had since coming back to the major league. But right now he is regressing, and it's kind of sad to see. Wait, we have Salvador Perez? Why wasn't I notified of this? He's been in Double-A? What? Hunter Henderson is now a Red Sox, so he joins Colton Cowser as the fire sale for the Orioles continues. Trevor Bauer's going down in overall. This could very well be the farewell tour for Bauer outage right now. But yet again, having career best numbers since coming back to the league, but still nothing too great. They are now sitting at 68 and 79 with 1/2 of the last month still to go. They need a miracle to make a playoff push. And unfortunately, they finished 6 games below 500 to miss the postseason yet again. The Red Sox are the 2 seed. Let's see if they finish with a World Series victory. And the Red Sox lose to the Diamondbacks. So we still haven't seen the last of Trevor Bauer, at least by the looks of it, unless they released him. There's a Christopher Bauer that retired, but so far, Trevor Bauer is still kicking it in the league. Now he finished with a 5.3 ERA. He was doing so good. He gave up 190 hits, 98 earned runs, a career low since coming back to the league of 23 home runs given up, but 77 walks. So let's reflect a little bit. We have now had 4 years of Trevor Bauer back in the league, at least if I'm doing that math correctly. 25, 26, 27, 28. Yeah, and he hasn't really been very successful. He had a great postseason run. That one's not really on him. They went up against the 109 win Dodgers. Now going into his 38-year-old season, this could very well be the farewell tour for Trevor Bauer. He's going to be fighting for a main roster spot. I mean, they have a lot of young guys and prospects who are looking to make a push, and a lot of pitchers who are better than Trevor Bauer right now. Trevor Bauer not even in the top 5 pitchers on the roster. Jordan Westburg is now a Tiger, and we get Angel Espinosa and Johnny Winter, so some more pitching help coming to the team. Trevor Bauer could very well be on the move. It's very possible. The Orioles are actually 3 games above 500 heading into this point of the year. Trevor Bauer is at a 75 overall. Not much is looking to be better. 5.4 ERA, 1.55 whip, 1.8 home runs per 9, 3.8 walks per 9. The strikeout numbers are down a little bit, but still not terrible. My God. How are they above 500 right now? And they have fallen to 4 games below 500 and are at the bottom of a very competitive AL East. And it's another same situation, barring some sort of miraculous comeback. The Orioles are more than likely going to miss out on the postseason yet again. The Orioles finished 16 games below 500. Mariners defeat the Marlins, a World Series I never thought I would see. Trevor Bauer is still kicking somehow. I don't know, is he gonna see out the rest of this contract? He's been sent down to AAA, which is crazy work to me. Grayson Rodriguez is now a National, so the the Orioles pitching staff is now in shambles. Orioles signed Jared Jones of Pirates fame, so maybe the rotation, and Rhett Lauder. So the rotation gets a boost. But what does that mean for Trevor Bauer heading into the 2030 season? We're in 2030 right now. And the Orioles also signed Matt McClain, and Jackson Holliday's playing up to a 91 overall. I didn't even notice this. So with a team like this, it's very possible that the Orioles could make a playoff push. But will Trevor Bauer be a part of that team? Right now, Trevor Bauer is sat in AAA. So who knows if he'll see any major league action this year. So at the All-Star break, they are technically tied for the lead in the division with the Red Sox at 54 and 42. I don't even know if Trevor Bauer's seen a lick of major league play. He hasn't pitched in the major leagues at all this year. He's doing fine in AAA, but not anything super great. He's down to a 67 overall. So right now, the Orioles heading into September are geared up to make a playoff push in the 2030 season. I know it's like a broken record. I don't think Trevor Bauer has seen a lick of Major League Baseball this entire year, and rightly so, having a 3.10 ERA in AAA ball. Damn. We might see if we can call him up for the playoffs, just to kind of have someone with experience. Finishing with a 90 and 72 record, the Orioles, after making some great offseason moves, are now geared up to face the Oakland Athletics, no longer in Oakland, RIP. Is Trevor Bauer even eligible? He's down to a 66 overall. Can we add to playoff roster? Is not eligible for the MLB roster. So Trevor Bauer isn't even going to be able to make his presence in the playoff push. That is crazy. And the Orioles get eliminated in 2 games. Could they have used Trevor Bauer? Possibly. And the Athletics lose to the Marlins, so the Marlins make a comeback after losing last year's World Series. And look at this, Trevor Bauer has officially retired, not even making the Major League roster in his final year in the league. Damn, man. Having a career 4.06 ERA these last years really spiked that, finishing with 2,300 strikeouts and a career WAR of 40.7. He might be listed in technically the Hall of Very Good, but that second half of the career just wasn't enough to do anything. I don't think he's gonna make a Hall of Fame case, but we shall see. Jose Altuve is the only Hall of Fame candidate, and Trevor Bauer officially retired at the age of 40. So that did it for the career simulation of Trevor Bauer back in Major League Baseball. If you guys liked this video, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to see other similar content like this, let me know in the comment section what you guys want to see, and I will do my damnedest to bring it to you. Thank you guys so much for watching until this point in the video, and I will see you in the next one.